Good afternoon, everybody. We are Team Bottleheads, and we're here to talk about rugs and candles, an Interchain board game. Quick team intro. I'm Clyde. I'm with AwesomWasm and SG1. Maurits is the co-founder of 42.money. Shout out 42. And Stefano is the killer engineer of AwesomWasm. And together we are Team Bottleheads, and we're very well rested, and we're here to tell you about the game that we made. So we set out to figure out how to make the Cosmos onboarding experience more fun. Picture this. Last week, ETH Berlin, you're an Ethereum dev, you come into co-working space here at W3. You're hungover, you hear these Cosmos guys upstairs, they're trying to tell you about, oh, come to Cosmos, oh, come read these docs, come do this, do that, to get to know the Interchain. You don't know what all that means. What if you could just play a game? Wouldn't that be easier? What if you could just play a game and get to know all the Interchain? And we thought, what better game than a timeless classic? It's not chess, it's Chutes and Ladders. Okay, a bit of game history. Chutes and Ladders has been around since 2nd century, actually, in India. And we decided to make this Interchainified, and we came up with this. Rugs and Candles, the Interchain board game. So you start out your journey in Kujira, right? And you got a lot of tasks to do in Kujira. You got so much to do in that beautiful flywheel. And we think this is a really good way to kind of help protocols showcase all the different functionalities. And the idea is to make it all the way to square 50, but on the way, there's many rugs and candles that could lead to your demise. I mean, there's even Prop 16 on Juno that could get you, you know, I mean, there's even Do Kwon at 36, you know, deploying funds, you never know. We'll get more into the functionality and the tiles in a bit. But first, let's get into the solution design. I'm going to let my engineer colleague take it away.
Okay. Yeah, so our design is, of course, with CosmWasm and Abstract. Can you go to the next slide? So the idea is that we have, and Club Mate. The idea is that we have one controller chain that manages the state of the game. And the state of the game is basically a player and a number of a tile. And so when the manager sees, okay, I have player 1 on, or like player A on tile 1, and tile 1 is on chain on Neutron. No, sorry. Our controller is on Neutron. So tile 1 is on Kujira. Then the controller will send an execute message over IBC to say, hey, register this user on your tile on that board. And then the user has to execute on the contract on Kujira, so not on Neutron. It's forced to go to Kujira to perform its action. That perform action can be very simple. It can be, where are we now? Yeah. Yeah, so these are the boards, and board would be Kujira, and another board would be Neutron. And board 1 on Kujira would be the first 10 tiles. Board 2 would be on, I don't know, Osmosis, the second 10 tiles. And if you go to the next slide, you'll see how it goes. So we have a register action and then the perform action. The perform action will be on the chain where a board is. And the perform action can be 3 things. It can be no action, which means you just have to execute the message. And it will say, okay, you're good. We'll do an IBC message to the controller, and the controller will throw a dice and put you from your tile you are right now to the next tile. It will have a map of on which chain that next tile is, but the controller will take care of that. Or it says yes. So actually 2 options. And it says, okay, wait, this tile is a special tile. You have to perform an action. For Kujira, for example, that means perform a lend deposit on Ghost. And so the message will be inside the contract. And it will show the user, hey, now before you can pass, you have to execute this message. To verify that the message actually goes through our contract, we deposit your funds at the Ghost vault, and then we send those received funds back to the user. And immediately in the same step, because you don't want to do another transaction, the same proceed user is called back to our controller. And so in this way, we sort of enforce this transaction to happen while just proceeding in the game all the time. So it's really a nice way to go around the game. And I think the rules of the game. Should I explain that? Yeah, this is more a thing I think you can explain.
So, like I said, like all of us, we're trying to make it through the interchain without getting rugged, right? You're trying to keep your money. The idea is that when you start the game, you'll have an initial deposit that kind of pays for all your gas as you navigate throughout the interchain. And some of these fees will go toward sort of a prize pot that if you successfully make it through this rugs and ladders game, rugs and candles, sorry, you could win a prize, right? You could win your money back and then some. And we think protocols will actually be incentivized to fund this game, to provide incentives to users to actually play it, so that people get more acquainted with all the different things you can do on the interchain, be it lending, borrowing, any kind of DeFi activities. And of course, we have special tile actions where, as Marwitz mentioned, the user is mandated to perform certain functions. I already mentioned the prize pots, a little bit of the rugs and the pitfalls. But ideally, you can catch some green candles on your way. That's what we all want. And you can win additional funds on your way through the interchain. So here's just some example actions that are going to get enforced. We mentioned Steady Lads, of course. That'll send you from tile 106 to 0.006 in the matter of a day. You might have to lend on Ghost, which can be done via interchain abstraction. Maybe in order to get past tile 23, we had the idea that users would have to have a successful leverage trade done on Levana. You can't advance past that unless you actually get a winning 100x on Levana. That's kind of a lot, but and of course there's the rugs and the god candles, and maybe providing liquidity on osmosis. All the beautiful different things you can do on the interchain. We're gonna make you do them to play our game and to make to the end of it. That's kind of the idea. So here's a little code highlight. Maurits, do you want to talk about your beautiful work?
Yeah. Just shortly. So the reason why we show this code highlight is because it's pretty simple. This is a board layout on, in this case, our first chain that participates in the game. And it's pretty simple. We have a tile action none, basically means that you don't have to do anything. You just have to execute that transaction, like I said, on the chain, and it will just do next step. Or it will have a tiled action, and then you will have a required transaction. And then the two other options are candles and rugs, which will immediately forward you to the next tile you are rugged to. And this is how it looks. So it's pretty simple, as you can see. And that's what today we realized. We thought about this architecture the first day, quite a long time before starting coding. And yeah, it helped us a lot realizing it, because this is how it looks now. So that's a highlight. We already discussed a little bit of the incentives, and maybe to mention some technical details. We have an interchain test setup with our, of course, using CW Orchestrator and its awesome IBC interface, where we perform the join action across the chain successfully, and the performing action is with the Kujira adapter on abstract. We haven't tested that, but it's in the code there, so about to be tested very soon. And we have a front end that's working and looking very nice. However, those two are not attached yet. That's where we kind of got stuck. So that's the state of it. And the future roadmap is for Clyde.
Yeah, that's right. So as protocols are incentivized to, build in all their functionality, we hope that the entire interchain will get integrated. We think that if we open this up, we think a lot of especially new projects will want to hop on a game like this to get new users involved, just to get some more community attention. And I think, through that, we could raise funds even through orgs like AADAO or other interchain funds that might want to really increase the interchain feel, And ideally, we could make this competitive, right? I mean, if we could have a leaderboard up there, oh, wow, I made it through in 4 turns. I caught 3 God Candles and 150x on Levana, and I won. And somehow, we're going to try and perfect the already near perfect UI. It's hard to imagine how this could be any better. As you can see, the idea is that, you can get in here, connect your wallet, right? Boom, wallet's connected. and you roll through. Oh, that's and you get to the end, you get the idea. But yeah, don't see that getting much better. And lastly, where are we at? Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, have fun with the Interchain. Thank you all to the organizers.